In Asia, the wealthiest country is Singapore, for it has reached $58,480 per capita income, according to the Richest Asian Countries 2021 World Population Review. To know more about the economy of Singapore, understanding its own contemporary foreign and economic policies is a must. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is responsible for conducting and managing diplomatic relations between Singapore and other countries and regions, the foreign policies of Singapore are as follows. First, as a small state, Singapore has no illusions about the state of a region or the world. Singapore must always maintain a credible and deterrent military defense as the fundamental underpinning for an effective foreign policy. Singapore must promote and work for good relations with our immediate neighbors in all spheres. Singapore stands by its friends who have stood with it in times of need. Singapore is fully committed to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Singapore will work to maintain a secure and peaceful environment in and around Southeast Asia, especially the Asia-Pacific region. Singapore will continue to work for the maintenance of a free and open multilateral trading system. Singapore is ready to trade with any state for mutual benefit and maintain an open market economy. And lastly, Singapore will support and be active in international organizations such as the United Nations or the UN. Singapore applies and practices prudent fiscal policy which complements the monetary policy in promoting a sustained economic growth without inflation. This means that Singapore continues to pursue high rate of income without actually putting a continuous increase at the product's prices. Fiscal rules require a balanced budget over the term of the government. Regarding your balanced budget, Singapore's key reasons for successful fiscal policy are prudent expenditure programs and fair tax policies. Prudent expenditure. The government's expenditure focuses mainly on delivering essential public goods and services to Singaporeans. Singapore does its best to focus on producing and expanding imported products and goods that are actually needed by the people. Key areas of expenditure are on education, public housing, health care, national security, building and maintaining world-class economic infrastructure and services. Another key reason for successful fiscal policy of Singapore are the fair tax policies. Taxes provide the main source of funding for the government, and Singapore's tax policies hopes to make its economy more globally competitive and attract foreign investments to Singapore. Singapore's fiscal policy is directed primarily at promoting long-term economic growth rather than a technical adjustment or distributing income. The Singapore government adopts the following principles to meet its objective. The private sector is the engine of growth, and the government's role is to provide a stable and conducive environment for the private sector to thrive. Tax and expenditure policies should be justified on microeconomic grounds and focus on supply-side issues, incentives for savings, investment, and enterprise. The counter-cyclical role of fiscal policy is limited due to high import leakages. The monetary policy of Singapore is mainly centered on the exchange rate. In the small and open economy of Singapore, it is known to be the most effective way or tool in maintaining price stability. The Monetary Authority of Singapore's primary goal as the central bank and financial regulatory authority of Singapore is to ensure price stability and maintain confidence in the Singapore dollar. MAS manages the Sing dollar exchange rate against a trade-weighted basket of currencies of Singapore's major trading partners and competitors. The composition of this basket is reviewed and revised periodically to take into account and changes in Singapore's trade patterns. The MAS may also intervene in the foreign exchange market to prevent the dollar exchange rate from fluctuating too much. The monetary policy of Singapore is reviewed every 6 months to ensure that it is consistent with economic and market conditions. This also means but it ensures low inflation and economic growth. Lastly, the economic achievement of Singapore is based on sound macroeconomic policies which aim at maintaining a conducive environment for long-term investment.